All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're tackling something that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a horror movie: flesh-eating bacteria. It's a name that definitely grabs your attention, but what's the real story behind all the fear? We're going to start with a scenario that might be closer to home than you think. Just think about it. You get a small cut, maybe a scrape from a fall, or even just a bug bite. You clean it, slap a bandage on, and pretty much forget about it. But what if, under the surface, something truly awful was just getting started? That's the frightening possibility we're exploring today. So why do we call it a silent menace? Well, it's because it starts so quietly. It can kick off with an injury that looks like absolutely nothing, totally trivial. But deep inside, a really devastating process can be unfolding without you even knowing it. This question really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? That phrase, flesh-eating bacteria, is just so effective at sparking panic. So let's cut through the noise, separate the scary headline from the science, and figure out what we're actually talking about. Okay, so let's peel back the layers of that myth and get right to the medical facts. What is really going on when we hear that terrifying name? The real deal, the proper medical term, is necrotizing fasciitis. Let's break that down. Necrotizing just means it causes tissue to die. And fasciitis? That's inflammation of the fascia. Now the fascia? Think of it like a super thin sheet of shrink wrap that holds all your muscles, nerves, and blood vessels together. And this infection? It attacks that specific layer. And here is the biggest myth we've got to bust. The bacteria aren't literally eating your flesh. It's not like a swarm of microscopic piranhas. It's actually more like they're tiny, rogue chemical factories. They pump out these incredibly powerful toxins that just dissolve and destroy body tissue. And it's also really important to understand that there isn't one single flesh-eating super bug out there to avoid. This devastating condition can actually be caused by several different and pretty common types of bacteria. We're talking things like group A strep. Yep, the same bug that causes strep throat, and others you can find just about anywhere, like in water or soil. So how in the world does a simple cut suddenly morph into a full-blown medical emergency? Let's walk through exactly how this infection gets started, step by step. So first, you've got the entry point. The bacteria find a way in through any break in your skin. Then, multiplication. Once they're inside, deep in the tissue, they just start multiplying like crazy. After that comes the toxin release. They start pumping out those poisons into the area. And that leads to the final, most critical step, destruction. The toxins completely overwhelm your body's defenses, breaking down tissue way faster than your immune system can even begin to fight back. It's that incredible speed. That's what puts doctors into a desperate race against the clock. When you're dealing with necrotizing fasciitis, every single hour matters. Heck, every minute is absolutely critical. And the stakes in that race? They're unbelievably high. This statistic is it's sobering. Even with the best possible medical care you can get, about 1 in every 3 people who contract this infection won't survive. That's exactly why recognizing the signs early isn't just a good idea, it's literally a matter of life and death. I mean, just look at how fast things can go downhill. In the first 24 hours, you might just think you have the flu or a minor skin infection. But then, by day 2, the skin itself can change dramatically. We're talking turning purple or black, maybe with blisters filled with this dark fluid. And by day 3, the body is in total crisis, careening towards toxic shock and organ failure. The speed is just terrifying. So, in all of this chaos, what's the one thing you really need to remember? The number one warning sign? It's this: pain that is completely, totally out of proportion to how the wound actually looks. A small red patch on your skin should not feel like you just broke a bone. If that pain level feels just wrong for the injury, that is the biggest red flag. You have to act on that immediately. Okay, let's take a deep breath. After all of that intensity, we need to switch gears. Because knowledge isn't about being scared, right? It's about being empowered. So let's talk about your best defense, about what you can actually do. And honestly, these steps are really straightforward, but they are so vital. It all starts with basic first aid. You clean any break in the skin, no matter how small, with good old soap and water, and keep it covered. You also have to be smart about your surroundings. If you have an open wound, and that includes a fresh tattoo, it's probably best to stay out of places like pools, lakes, or hot tubs where bacteria love to hang out. And most importantly, trust your gut. Know the warning signs we just talked about, and if anything feels off, get medical help right away. Do not wait. Now, let's put this all into perspective for a second. Necrotizing fasciitis is extremely rare. I mean, you are far, far more likely to get struck by lightning. But because the consequences can be so incredibly severe, awareness is everything. Just knowing what to look for is your best possible line of defense. So at the end of the day, this isn't about being paranoid over every little paper cut. Not at all. It's about having a healthy respect for our skin as this amazing protective barrier. And remembering that when that barrier is broken, just paying a little attention is our most powerful tool. Which brings us to our final question for you. After this, will you ever look at a small wound the same way again? Thanks for joining us.